Father, I bless you. Holy Spirit, fill this atmosphere with your presence and your glory. Amen.
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever it is that you're joining from. I want to just quickly just welcome everybody back to the Raw platform. Another beautiful day by the grace of God. Today is Thursday, by the grace of the Lord God Almighty. It's a beautiful Thursday afternoon. Um, man, my first time after a very long time drinking coffee. This morning I just, let me just grab a cup of coffee and feel good a little bit because the topic before us today is so deep and it's a complicated topic, and I don't want to just come here and just be looking like you, Luco said. So I've decided to grab a cup of coffee so that my eyes will pop out, and then I'm not going to yell today, so I'm going to feel cool. All right, so the coffee is working already. It's making me feel cool already at this moment by the grace of God. So I want to welcome you. Thank you very much for coming. And I want you to do me a favor real quick. And the favor is I want you to go ahead and share this video right on your walls. If I can get 97 shares, that will be great. That will be great. I want to quickly just encourage you guys back. I know you guys, in those days, you will share 200 shares, 500 shares and stuff. I need you guys to go back to that level right now. Go back to that point where you share. If you can't give us money, if you can't pray for us, you should be able to share. It doesn't cost any money to share this on your wall so that other people can get blessed. All right. All we need is for you to be faithful, be loyal, be connected, you know, help the ministry, propagate the gospel. And the only way you can do that is by just clicking the share button and share it on your wall. So many of your friends are going to connect, and some of them are actually going through marital difficulties already. Some of them are looking for a way out, and it's possible for this to actually bless their life and, heal their wounds. I I actually made a video yesterday, and at the end of that video, I was kind of like, because everybody, they were all quiet. People didn't say nothing. It was all quietness, and I was like just talking for almost about 1 hour. And at the end of the video, I was like, man, maybe I messed up. Maybe I didn't give them the right points and stuff. Not knowing that these people were just listening, because some of them got hit. It was great points. All right. They started calling me, Pastor, I think I need to rearrange my marriage. I think I need to look for until death do us part and all kinds of stuff like that. I was thinking that the video didn't touch your life. I was thinking the video is just not the right one. They're like, no, Pastor. Is everything you were saying was just too real for anybody to actually comprehend. I was like, you know what? We got to sit down here and just listen to this stupid guy. And they listen to the whole stuff all the way to the end of it. And right now I'm getting calls. Even this morning I've received 2 calls already of people asking questions about how do you set the vision? How do you set the goals? Somebody said you have to have vows, that your vow is a vision, of course. All right. So we're going to come back to it. That's, actually, I tagged that number 1, happy part 1. I'm going to be bringing the second part for you guys to be able to benefit from it by the grace of God. But today, the topic before us is so deep, and I want you guys to get ready. I have a guest in the studio who's going to be doing justice to this. It's someone you know her, and stuff, but probably you have not seen her on this capacity, in this capacity before. She's going to be dishing it out very raw, very direct, beautifully, and you will enjoy every bit of it. The topic is understanding sexual compatibility before and after marriage. All right. Some people believe that, okay, you got to do it. All right. Before marriage, you got to do it. All right. Before marriage, because it's supposed to be tested and trusted. If you don't, you have to try. You have to test something before you can trust it. How will I just marry a wife without testing? How will I marry a husband without testing? And all kinds of stuff like that. Are we sexually compatible or not? How do I know that? How do I understand the size and know the size of his penis? How do I know if I'm not actually digging a grave for myself? Maybe the vagina is already messed up and I'm just jumping inside the well. All right. So many people ask me all manners of questions and stuff like that. No, I don't want to just marry someone that at the end of the day I'm not going to be able to please that person sexually. That we're going to jump on bed and I'll be there pumping myself out, and then she will be using me to read newspaper. I can't stick that. I need to marry someone that we are sexually compatible, someone I'm able to please, and someone that will be able to please me. So a lot of problems, man, a lot of problems. So I'm going to be opening my telephone lines up, sorry, and for people who would love to contribute on the show also. But with me in the studio today, I have my guest already. We set to take us to the next level of this topic, understanding sexual compatibility. I have a guest in the house, Olayinka Noah. How are you doing, Olayinka Noah?
I'm fine, Dr. Shala. How are you this afternoon?
I am good.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm good. This is your face. They shine well. Oh. What's the secret of this face?
Good food.
Uh-huh. And what again?
Good hygiene.
What?
And great sex.
Okay. All right. That's great. That's great to know. All right. So we thank God for your life. Welcome to the show. This is the Raw platform. This is a place where we keep it real. We keep it real, 1000% real. That's what we do here,
Real.
and you know that also. That we keep it real. And we
Yes.
believe that today you're going to keep it real with us. Olori Lola in the house. Just imagine Olori Lola in the house, king of sex herself. All right. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself? Who is Olayinka Nowo?
Olayinka Nowo is a lady with a passion for women empowerment. I derive pleasure and great joy in teaching women how to be themselves, to bring out the best in themselves in every way possible, both mentally, physically, socially, spiritually. That is my passion. I'm a relationship family coach, and I love helping people get a better understanding of what is going on in their life. I'm also a mentor. I love helping people through issues as long as they are forthcoming, and that is generally who I am. I'm just passionate about helping women, especially, and even men. Some men do text me once in a while about issues affecting them. So that is who I am basically. I'm just passionate about helping people discover their best, who they are, and living the best of their lives.
Beautiful. And welcome to this platform. We believe that you're going to be able to get us to the destination that we are going to by the grace of God. Now, the topic we have before us today is understanding sexual compatibility before and even after marriage. And the floor is yours.
Okay. First of all, I want to thank Dr. Shola for creating this platform and giving me this platform to reach out to as many people on here this afternoon. I do not take it for granted. I do appreciate you a lot because it takes a lot for someone of your timber and caliber to release is a platform for people to come up and to be able to talk and have a discussion and to put that trust in me. So I thank you very much, Dr. Shola, for that, for giving me that opportunity. I don't take it for granted. And I want to thank everyone here this afternoon that have had to stop what they're doing, or they're doing some other things and just logged in and want to listen. I want to learn. I want to know. I want to really understand what is going on in their relationship sexually. So I want to thank every one of you. As I always say, coming on shows on Facebook, you have other things you can do, you have other places you can be, but you've decided to be here this afternoon. So thank you all very much. Please go ahead and share this, share, so that other people can learn and we can all grow together. So the topic before me today says sexual compatibility. Sexual compatibility. So what is sexual compatibility? That's the main word in the whole discourse this afternoon. What do we understand by sexual compatibility? So while doing a bit of research, you cannot really, when it comes to psychology, there is really not, that term sexual compatibility is really wide, and there's no definite meaning to it. But what you can narrow it down to mean, it is the extent to which a couple perceives they share sexual beliefs, the extent to which a man and a woman in a relationship share their sexual beliefs, preferences, desires, and needs. So that is what it means. They share. That is the word share. Share means you have something in common. Share means that you have these together in this relationship. They have same sexual beliefs, preferences, sexual preferences, desires and needs with their partner. So that is what sexual compatibility simply means. So in a nutshell, the person you are in a relationship with, do you have the same sexual preferences, sexual beliefs, desires, and needs? So let's go to the nitty-gritty. Let's go down below and build this from the foundation. Now, when it comes to the issue of sex, I always draw from my own background as a Nigerian. And I'm sure most of us on this platform are Africans. As Nigerians, as Africans, we generally do shy away from the topic of sex. At least in my own generation, I'm in my mid-40s, so I know what I'm talking about. In my own generation, we don't talk about sex. I can count on one hand. My mother the only time I could remember talking about sex was when I started my period, and she was like, I just told her, I said, Mom, I started my period. And the only thing she said was, it was the shortest sex speech I've ever had in my life. She said, you are now a girl, you are now a woman. If you allow any man touch you, that's what she touches you, you get pregnant, you will get pregnant, I'll kick you out of my house. So that was the old sex talk I had. So I don't know about you, if you had something more in depth, but that was the old sex talk I had. And I can't blame my mom. I'm sure that she didn't even have any from my grandmother. She didn't have any. At least I had that 2 minutes sex talk.
When I started my period too, when I started my period, my dad called me and said to me, "Toba vuyo loyu okuni e."
so so that was all. It was after some years that one uncle of mine called me, and I really thought that uncle of mine is not educated, but I remember him calling me into the room and sitting me down and saying, you know what, I think it was I had an argument with my mother, and my mother was like, this is what I told her, and he was like, how would you tell her that if a man touches her? Now she now moved close to me and touched me and said, is she pregnant? And I was telling my mother, why are you telling her that? So then my uncle now sat me down. This was a few years later, and said, if a man is naked and you are naked and climbs on top of you and puts his penis inside of you, and you will get that is sex, and you will get pregnant. So that was the other speech I had about 4 years later from an uncle of mine. So he was more in-depth. And for a man, kudos to him, because most men do shy away from, they push this thing towards the women, the mothers. Oh, go and have a talk. Have you had a talk with your daughter? While the men would rather talk with their sons. But in this day and age, that needs to change. So going to the foundation, that is the foundation most of us are. And because of this, we tend to shy away from sex. When we were in our secondary schools, what we were taught was the reproductive organs, what happens during sex and blah, blah, blah. And that was it. So the curiosity is always there for an average Nigerian young lady. The curiosity is always there about sex. We are curious about it. Is this forbidden fruit that we cannot touch? Is this forbidden fruit that we must not talk about? It's a taboo subject. If you dare talk about it, it means you're loose. You are a prostitute. That means that you sleep around. That is the taboo and the stereotypes we build around people who tend to talk about sex around us. We tend to believe that, oh, because she slept with so many sex partners, that's why she's had this, she's like this, and that's why she's like that. I believe that as we have daughters now, this present generation are just not even having it. They know more about sex than some of their parents give them credit for. So building on this background, it's created so many of us to be sexually, how will I call it? Undeveloped we have the sex information we have is very limited, very, very limited. We believe, and we carry this into adulthood. We carry it into adulthood. We believe that we cannot talk about it, and hypocritically, we engage in it. Some of us engage in it every time, when you have, I'm not here to judge anyone. We are sexually active, but when it comes to talk about sex, we will refuse to talk about it. So we have this life that it's okay to be, some of us are sexually active, but we will never, even up to today, some of my age mates, when you bring about a topic of sex, they all keep quiet. Everybody runs away. Nobody will chip in. Nobody will talk about it. When Dr. Shola teaches about sex or talks about sex positions, you see people hiding and, no. The Bible says this, the Bible says that, and then we bring the Bible into it. And then I keep saying this. The same Bible that we are all reading. I hope you know that the Songs of Solomon is in the Bible, where the greatest love poems that we can see is written in the book of in the Songs of Solomon. Open your Bible and read it. It talks about sexual desire. It talks about that part of the Bible. We generally don't visit it. We think it's not a book of the Bible. It is a book of the Bible. And when you want to know about sex, about sexual desire, about how a woman adorns herself for her lover and makes herself so admirable, go and read the book, the Songs of Solomon. You will see all this. you would go into, you see all these things in there, and they tell you that the Bible does not forbid you from talking about sex or enjoying sex or having a sex education. So, what is sexual compatibility? What are your sexual preferences? What are your sexual desires? Do you, as a woman, as a man, even know what you like sexually? Have you ever thought about it? What do you like during sex? Now, in relationships, when we are courting in the Christian courtship, most in time past, I think this is a topic that is glossed over. I don't know now, but when I was getting married and went for counseling, I don't even think we had a sex class. We didn't have a sex class. All we were talking about is how they concentrate solely on the issues of communication in marriage and how you relate with each other. But the cocoa of it, the sex there that everybody is looking forward to, that sex that you are looking forward to, because some people they get married in church. Some people in church, when they get married, is because they have the legal and the spiritual backing to enjoy good sex. That's what they are looking forward to. And then when they now get to the marital bed, they get disappointed because what they were expecting is not what they found. Many years ago, a young lady that got married approached me. She got married a virgin. And then she told me, she said she needs to ask me something. I said, well, she said that she just got married 2 weeks ago and that the second day of the wedding, they had sex. She was asked, he said, is that all to the wedding? Is that all to the sex? That all these years I've been keeping myself. He said the whole thing lasted just 5 minutes. He said, is that all? She was asking me, is this all the big deal about the sex that she's been looking forward to? I laughed. I was like, what else? What did you expect? He said, that the way she's been expecting it. I said, but did you say this to your husband? She said, no, how can I say that? I can't say that. Oh, I just have to manage it. So that is where the issue is. Not talking, not communicating, not talking about sex. And we keep wondering why some of our men in church, they wander out of church. Some of our women too. It's not only men now, women, they out of lack of sexual compatibility, or they don't enjoy the full sex. They just decide to go out and enjoy themselves, or they start watching porn. And let me say this right now, to learn about sex, porn is not the best way. Porn does not even teach you how to have good sex. What you see in porn movies, in those of you that are addicted to it or you're thinking of going into it, don't go into it. Try and get help and get out of it, because looking at porn to have an idea of how to have good sex is one of the worst things you can ever do. Those people there are actors and actresses. They are on drugs. They are on sex enhancers. And you see them banging on and going on for hours. That is not real. They are on drugs. So using that as a learning tool for great sex is the wrong way to go about it. Now, it boils out to the question. While doing the research for this, I got to know that one of the reasons, the fourth reason stated for divorces in marriage, is difference in sex libido. So sex drive was number 4. So sex drive was number 4. One of the things listed were interferences from family, lack of communication, but the number 4th one was differences in sex libido. That is the sex drive of the man and of the woman. Now, let's be practical. You want to marry somebody, you are in a courtship, you are in a Christian courtship, and you've been told you can't have sex before marriage. The Bible says the married bed must be undefiled. So how do I know I am sexually compatible with this man or this woman I want to marry? Some of us, I can safely say, let me safely say without any bias, that most of us would have had one sexual encounter or the other. So we know about sex. Only very few will be virgins, very few, and fewer men will be virgins on their marriage, on their wedding day. Fewer men will be virgins on their wedding day. It is likely to be the women that will be virgins on their wedding day, on their wedding night. So how do I go about this? Maybe you are in a relationship now and you want to get this right, and you don't want to go into sex before marriage. Now, There is nothing wrong. We always talk about communication. You communicate and you talk about finances. You communicate and talk about work. Oh, where are you going to work? Are you going to leave your job? Am I going to leave my job? How many children are we going to have? How many, who is earning more? You talk about your finances. What stops you from talking about your sexual desires? What stops you, as long as you do it in a place whereby you will not be given to temptation to try to do it, to have sex? What stops you from talking about it? What? The same way you talk about your finances, the same way you talk, oh, you earn 200K, I earn 400K. So how do we pay for house rent? How do we do this? Why is it wrong to talk about sex? Oh, what kind of sex do you like? What is your idea of sex? How many times do you think we should be having sex when we are married? What sex position is your favorite? What is wrong with talking about that? What is wrong? If you don't talk about that, you would not know if you are compatible with this person. And it is very important, if you are a pastor listening to me today, that with your curriculum for counseling in your church, sexual compatibility needs to be part of it. If it's not part of it, it's not a complete curriculum. It is not complete for the people. You're not helping them because you're not being real. One of the realistic things you need to talk about and communicate about is sex. And until we do this, you will keep having problems with sexual compatibility in marriage. That is when you keep hearing posts. Please keep me anonymous. Hey, Dr. Shola, please, I like sex 5 times a day, and my wife can only do once a month. You will keep having that problem if you don't talk about it. We need to talk about it. We need to talk about sex. You need to talk about your sexual preferences. Talk to your partner about what sex you've had before. Obviously, you've told them you've had sex before. They know. So tell them what you enjoy, what part of your body that you like to be touched, what part of your body you like to be caressed, what gets you on, what gets you in the mood. You need to talk about it. You need to talk about it. It's very important that we say these things. If you do not say it, you will not know it, and it will lead to future problems. And that is one of the first problems that you get to know, that even get to the root of, because you know on the wedding night, if this person is compatible with you or not. By the time you want to do something and they're like, which one is that? Or they just lie down there like a stick, take it, like in the UK, we say they take one for the country. They're taking one for the country, just lie there like a wood, because probably they have been told. Don't forget our backgrounds. The person you're marrying as a virgin, don't just assume. Some be like, oh, I'll teach her. Let her know what you like, how you like your sex. Let her know how many times you like it. Let her know the positions that you like. And as you too, that you're a virgin, you don't need, you know, you've heard about sex, you're looking forward to it. Let us not lie. If you're married as a virgin, one of the things you're looking forward to is the sex. It is the sex. So if you're looking forward to the sex and you want to have good sex, why don't you talk to your person, your man that you're dating now, what you have read? Probably you've seen a film, you've seen a position, your friends have talked about it. You know, those friends that you have on the union, some of them, they're like, oh, I went with my boyfriend last night, we did this, we did that. You've heard of this. Why not talk to your man? What sex position is this? How does this work? Is this something we can try? Do you think this? Do you think, you open up and say these things. If you cannot talk about sex with the person you want to marry, what hope is there for that marriage? What hope is there for it? So you need to be able to communicate your desires. Communicate your desires. God gave you those desires. Those desires are part of you. They are part of your senses. When God created you and say He created you in His own image, He's put those desires are not seen. They are not seen. If you're a woman, you don't do sex, you want to be caressed in a certain way, you want part of you to be touched in a way, talk to your man. This is what I want you to do when we get married. This is where I want you to touch me. This is where I want us to have sex in the bathroom. I want us to have it in the dining room. I want us to have it in the kitchen. I want us to have it here. Say it. And if you are the man, tell your woman, I like this position. I like my woman to be this. I like my woman to wear this bomb shot. I like my woman to wear this. I like my woman to be that. Communicate your sexual desires to one another, to each other. It is very important that you communicate this. Now, how do you know that you are sexually attracted to somebody? How do you know you have chemistry? Now, we've been sold so many doctrines and I think so many untruths about relationship. When you meet a man or a woman, you must desire them. You must desire them. No matter how many Bible verses they quote, no matter how spiritual they are, you must desire the person you want to marry. That's why, personally, I've said this to Dr. Shela. Personally, I don't believe in all this. Oh, my prophet, I prayed and the prophet said this is my wife. And they bring somebody for you, or they point one sister to you in the church, in the choir, or they point one brother to you, and they say, oh, that is the man that I saw you marrying. And when you look at the man, you have zero attraction for him. Some of you say, okay, fine, let me date him and see if I will develop it. After 6 months of dating him, you still have zero attraction. When you see him, you don't break out in goose pimples. When you see him, your heart don't beat, your heartbeat don't go jim, jim, jim. You don't have all these desires towards the person. Why do you want to tie yourself in marriage to such? People say sex food. Sex is not food, but it's an integral part of marriage. Sexual compatibility is an integral part of marriage. As you're looking at the spiritual life of that person, you're looking at the ability you're looking at their social life, you're looking at them physically, that they're beautiful, they go to work, they have an income, they have an income and all that. And you're looking at all those. Your sexual desire, your sexual chemistry is part of it too. You must desire the person that you want to marry. You must desire them. You must desire that person. And if that desire is not there, I don't think you should be marrying them. Yes, quote me. If you do not have chemistry with that person, if you are not in this, when you see them, there is no that chemical reaction happening in your body or in their body. When you are in a room, when they're in a room full of people, your eyes is not looking for them and their eyes is not connecting with you, and you are not sharing a smile across the room, and you are not sitting down. When you see them, they don't want to hold your hands, they don't want to put their hands around you, and the chemistry is just not there. That is already a sign for you that there is no sexual compatibility. That is the first sign. And that is why you don't need to, in a Christian marriage, these are the things that are very important. You don't need to have sex with someone before you identify this. Before you identify this, sex is a thing of it starts from the mind, it starts from the eyes. The Bible says, and Adam beheld Eve, and he saw what he liked. The Bible said that. It's in the Bible, the same Bible we read in Genesis. He said, and Adam, when he saw Eve, the Bible said, and he loved what he was looking at. He liked what he was looking at. There was that chemistry there. Communication, as a virgin, how would a woman know where to touch on her body? Olori Lola. Before she's a virgin, quite all right, but she's read books. She's had conversations. She's spoken to people. She's seen films. We've watched films where people kiss. We've watched films when a man caresses a woman. They are reading and familiarizing yourself with part of your body, with what you would like, is part of communication. And to a man has sexual desires. A man, in fact, I think it's easier for a man to locate his locate his sexual desire than a woman. Men quickly know what they like when they see a woman. Men looking at a beautiful woman or looking at a woman, you looking at her alone, that sexual desire, when you are drawn to her, you know it. Virgin or no virgin, a man quickly identifies with this. Whereas as a woman, you as a virgin, you need to explore your body. I don't want to go into masturbation and all that. As a woman, you can touch your body, you can feel your body. You can, when you lie naked in bed, you know, you like what you can touch your breast, you touch parts of your body, and you know if you like touching yourself that way. Obviously, you would like your partner to do that to you. Or you've heard your friends talk about the way their boyfriends touch them, or your married friends, the way they talk. There's nothing wrong in explaining to your man, I've heard my friend talk about this. I think I would like us to write. It's a journey of discovery. But you need to say it out. You need to talk about it. You need to express it. So that you and the man, you're on the same page. Because if it is a man that believes I should just climb on top of you, one bam bam, that is it. Immediately you are dating him and you're telling him that, my friend was talking about our boyfriend, our husband licking the plate and all that. And he's a man the man you want to date doesn't know anything about that. So he will already tell you, his reaction will tell you that's a red flag with him. If he tells you immediately, I'm not going to be doing that, though. I don't believe in all that. I just believe that we get naked on the bed and we do it like that, and that is it. I don't believe in pleasuring a woman. What is this? What is foreplay? What is this foreplay nonsense? Immediately you're dating somebody and they're saying that in a relationship, when you're communicating and they're like, oh, I don't know what foreplay is, or I've never heard of it, or what is that foreplay thing again? So, and they are not open to learning it. They're not open to discovering what it is. Those are red flags. Some people don't like it when you are expressive of it. That is where the taboos, the stereotypes we build around sex needs to stop. That is when we need to break it. You need to be able to talk about sex. If you are in a relationship with somebody and you cannot talk about sex and you are heading towards marriage, you're looking for trouble. You're building a building block of trouble for yourself. Because you must be able to talk about everything and anything with your intended partner. You must be. And in churches, counseling, it must be encouraged that partners talk about these things, that they explore this topic, that they look into it, and you ask them the questions. Do you think you're sexually compatible? Have you talked about your sexual compatibility? What do you know what your partner likes in bed? Do you know what this person would like in bed? That conversation needs to be encouraged. It needs to be encouraged between couples, because as long as we are not having this conversation, we will keep hearing "keep me anonymous." We will keep hearing it. You will keep hearing it. The sexual chemistry must be there from day one. The sexual chemistry must be there from day one. If it is not there, please, you need to check that relationship. If your heart doesn't skip a beat when you see him, if you don't break out, if that man, when he comes into a room, there's this big smile on your face. When you're texting him, you're sending him a text alone. Everybody knows who you're texting, who you're talking to, because there's this smile that breaks up on your face. Your whole body language changes. And that is when you know that you are actually attracted to this person. When that attraction is not there, there is a problem somewhere. And sexual attraction in Christian courtship needs to be there. It's a fundamental ingredient. You're talking about love, talking about finances, we're talking about mental health. We must talk about sexual health, sexual compatibility. All these come together. They are all ingredients. Just like flour cannot make a cake by itself, just like butter cannot bake by itself, just like eggs cannot make a cake by itself. All these ingredients must all come together to make an wholesome marriage. Sex is part of the ingredient. Sexual compatibility is part of the ingredients of a wholesome marriage. If anybody tells you that it's not, it is a lie. It is a lie, and you're going to have problems. So we must be able to talk about sex. Always put in mind the background of the person you are in a relationship with. If they are from a relationship or from a home that they shun sex talk, it is likely that the person will be shy to bring up sex. They will be shy. They will not want to be upfront about it because of their background, which is what most backgrounds we all come from. If you're dating or marrying a Nigerian girl, an African lady, there's a likelihood, and she's a virgin, there's a likelihood that she'll be shy about sex. There is a likelihood that she would not want to open up to you about it. And as a man, you must be patient enough and talk about sexual desires. You must talk. It is not a sin to talk about sexual desires, your sexual preference, your sexual preferences, your sexual needs, what you need as a man when it comes to sex. Lay it plain on the table. If the woman is not going to agree with you, if she's not is not, if she finds that she cannot go ahead with it, it's better that you end it then than later find out when you've tied the knot that they are not sexually compatible, so that sexual sin does not become your problem. So many men or women that find themselves in sexual sin today did not dream of it. They didn't think they were going to be. When people were talking about sexual sin, they'll be like, that would never happen to me. But they find themselves in it. They find themselves in it because they have not, they didn't do the needful while courting. They think, oh, sex, you can't, sex, don't worry, to sort itself out. No. It doesn't sort itself out. As churches, mosque or wherever are encouraging people, are doing tests, different tests for sexual for diseases, for sperm count. Some churches are doing that now, from sperm count, to check the variety of the sperm, to check that the woman too has a womb, that she can have a child, that both of you are dealing with each other on the table of honesty when it comes to your relationship. So also sexual compatibility must be a topic, and if the church you're going to is not talking about this, you should bring it up. You should bring it up. When a woman expresses herself, the man sees her as cheap. Are you cheap? Any man, when you say when a woman expresses herself, you are not expressing yourself to just any man. You are expressing, we are not saying you should broadcast your sexual compatibility on social media or broadcast your sexual compatibility to a man that is not committed to you. It must be in a committed relationship, a relationship that is heading towards marriage. You do not share your sexual preferences or compatibility with every Tom, Dick, and Mariah. You share it with a man that you're going to be naked with, a man that you want to marry, that you want to call your husband. And if that man sees you as cheap, then you don't have a business being with him. You do not have a business being with such people, because you must come part of, and that is the problem. Permit me to talk about this, Dr. Shola. The unrealistic expectations we have in relationships, the hypocritical approach that we have. We wear this mien of holiness, this holiness that we carry, this pseudo false holiness that we bring into our relationships, and we think that when we are in a relationship with somebody, we must always talk about the Bible. How many times we'll be praying? How many times we'll be fasting? How many times we'll be going to church? And you think that is the whole thing you'll be doing in that, as long as she fulfills all that. That is wrong. That is false. Everything has its place in a human relationship. If God wanted us to be 100% spiritual and not to put our human nature into the mix, immediately Adam sinned in the garden, Jesus would have come the following day. He would have come down the following day and died on the cross, or rescued Adam, or stopped humanity from procreating. God had the power to do that. He had the power to do that, but he's made it in a way that both our human nature and our spiritual nature, which we get when we become born again, they become compatible with the whole entity of who we are. And having sexual desires is part of it. It is not, I keep saying it, if there's nothing else you take out of this today, having a sexual desire is not wrong. It is not a sin. It is when we do not use it appropriately, in the appropriate manner, when we do not use it within the bedrock of marriage, that it becomes wrong. So that is that. You are not cheap when to answer that person, you are not cheap when you talk to your husband, when you talk to your man, your fiance, you talk to him that this is my sexual desire, this is what I want. Is discussion enough to know sexual? What are the details they need to discuss? Is it like, how long do you last? What's your private part size? How many times do you want it? Now, there are some, let me say, what are the details they need to discuss? Okay, what details do you need to discuss? First of all, your sexual history. Your sexual history. Have you had sex before? I've had sex before. Did you enjoy it? What part of the sex do you enjoy? Now, let's talk about this. Men, if you are asking a woman that you have intention of marrying, which we know she's not a virgin, and you're asking how many sex partners she's had, you must be mature enough to handle that answer. If you are not mature enough to handle it, do not ask her. Do not ask her. Because some of us, we are so immature. We want, she's told you already, she told you she's not a virgin. You obviously know she's had sex. And then you're asking how many partners she's had. If she's going to answer that truthfully and honestly, you must be man enough to take it and consider it a past because it's before you. If you are not going to be able to accept that, don't bother asking her. Just keep that part. Just understand that, okay, she's had sex before. Then move on to what do you like about your sex? How long do you last? Instead of asking how long do you last, you can frame it in a way that when it comes to sex, how long do you think a good sex should last? They are better, how long do you last? No man will tell you they last for 2 minutes anyway. They won't tell you they last for 2 minutes or 3 minutes.
2 minutes is a
Just
long
ask them. Yes, Pastor.
2 minutes is a long time. Oh.
Is it what?
It's a long time. Oh.
That's what they will tell you. They will tell you that it's a marathon. Don't worry, don't be okay with that. But if you are honest and you bring out these things, a man that does not last long is likely to start investigating or looking into lasting longer because you have had the conversation. Now they know that you like your foreplay, you like your sex lasting longer than 2 minutes and 3 minutes. Now, when you are having that conversation, you are already telling them the kind of sexual encounter that you're expecting. And a man that is listening to you would know that, okay, this is what she's expecting. And knowing men, men and their ego, you will want to impress you, want to work on that aspect. And that is where communication is key. You can ask them how many times do we have sex? Do you like having, what's the longest time you abstained from sex? And how many times do you have your sex? These are things you can ask. Does sex validate love in marriage? Yes and no. Why yes? Sex is an expression of love. It's an expression of love. It's part of an act that God created for a man and a woman, for a man and a woman to express love in marriage. But it does not validate love in marriage. Love in marriage encapsulates a lot of things, not just sex. Sex is part of it, but only sex does not validate marriage. Hence my answer yes and no. Sex is an expression of love. But there's a lot of things that come together with sex to validate marriage. Consideration, regard, respect. All these things, they come together. You cannot love me and you don't regard me. You don't listen to my opinion. You don't listen when I try to talk to you. You cannot say you love me. You come back from work and you cannot share your life with me. You can't say that you love me. You don't do your parts in the house. Marriage is 100% from each person, not 50-50. So sex in marriage, sex is part of what validates marriage, but it is not the only thing that validates love in marriage. There's a lot that it comes with. So now, for those of us that are married, you're already married, because I've talked to people that are not married and they're trying to and they are working towards marriage. Now let's talk about sexual compatibility in marriage. So you are already married and you now find out that this person that you are married to does not have the same sexual desires as you, or your sexual needs, they differ. Communication. You need to sit them down and have a conversation with them. Hello, sir. Hello, love. Hello, my darling. Now, communication must not come from the place of confrontation. This is what happens most times. It is, you don't wait until you actually finish having the sex and immediately you start having that conversation. Because the man will automatically, or the woman will automatically think you are judging their performance. So what you do is you look for a nice environment where there'll be no interruptions, where they're in the right mood, you're both in the right mood and all that, and you have the conversation. Darling, what do you think about our sex life? Because don't forget, they might think there's nothing wrong and it's all okay. They might think so. You might be the one that is dissatisfied. They might think so. Or they too might be dissatisfied but don't know how to bring the topic, how to talk about it. So you must be free with yourself. You must open up. One of you must start the conversation. And you are like, darling, our sex life, what do you think about it? Do you think this is the best we can do? Or, darling, I want us to take our sex life, take it up a notch. I want it to grow from what it is. I want us to try something else. I want us to do this. I want us to do that. But always listen to the body language of the person you're talking to. Listen to their body language. Listen to the way they receive you. Some of us, you might come to the understanding that you might need to speak with a sex therapist, because if your partner has got some sex handicaps that they like, probably they were raped, they were victims of rape, or they were victims of molestation. We've known of, there are some women that when their husband wants to touch their breast, want to touch a part of their body, they push your hand away. They just want you to get on top of them, do what you want to do, and get up. Sometimes you'll be surprised that those people, they've had a sexual encounter in their past that is hindering them from going further or enjoying sex. And talking about it is the first step. And being open to coaching, counseling from a sex therapist is another option that you need to look into. That is if you're really invested in saving that part of your marriage and not looking for an option outside. Because some of us will be like, I don't want to go to all this trouble. Rather than this woman, rather than doing all this, I'll just go look for a side chick, or I'll go look for a side man outside. I don't have time for all this nonsense. But in a marriage that you want to work, that you are invested in it, you need to have this conversation. You need to be able to initiate sex. You need to be able to talk to the other person. I need you to initiate sex. A man and a woman in a marriage, it doesn't have to be one person that initiates sex all the time. You need to be able to initiate sex, both of you, at every point in time. And when your partner keeps saying they have a headache, or they keep bringing up excuses for not having sex or for denying you, you need to get to the bottom of it. Sometimes, most times, what is causing that is resentment and a lot of bitterness built underneath somewhere. So you need to have that communication, and that so this is very important. Sorry, I'm trying to read some of the comments. So this is very important. You're already in the marriage and you're not happy sexually. You need to talk about it. There is no way that you can't resolve this issue without having a conversation. Some of us, we think, oh, let me just initiate a new style. That even brings more problems, especially for a woman. And some men will be like, where did you learn that from? I don't do that. Where did you pick up this from? And they start thinking, oh, where is this woman bringing all these new techniques from, these new ideas? Some people are not open to that. And that is why communication is key. You must be able to talk about it. This is what I want. And as the man, when your woman talks to you and tells you, oh, she's not happy about this sex you're having, she wants a better sex, she wants better sex, better love making. Please do not see it as a complaint against you. Don't let it touch your ego so much that you don't listen to her. Some men are so ego-driven that when the woman brings such topics up, they switch off. They accuse her of cheating, accuse her of doing all sorts. Oh, it's in kegbe, you're now moving with the wrong crowd. Oh, that your friend that you go out to, she's the one teaching you all these things. You know, that your Facebook group that you belong to, that is where you discuss all this nonsense. It is not nonsense. You must be open. You must be matured enough to listen to her. If she says she likes this particular style, be open to it. If she says, oh, I read somewhere, this is it. Be open to it. Try it out. If you don't like it, oh, darling, I really was not comfortable with that. You must be, and the woman too. The woman to don't bring, I keep saying this, no matter who you are in your church, you are the pastor, you are the deaconess, you are whatever you are as a woman. When it comes inside the bedroom, leave all that thing outside your bedroom. And then you get outside, before you enter your bedroom, remove your scarf, put everything down there. When you enter into the bedroom with your husband, when you are into the bedroom, everything goes. Whatever you don't like, you can tell him, but you be open to whatever he desires of you. Whatever he desires of you, at that point in time, it goes. There's nothing like I'm a pastor. There's nothing. This same mouth that I used to preach, this same mouth that I used to pray, this same mouth that I used to do this. We don't have a problem when we use that same mouth to curse people. When you use that same mouth to cheat people. When you have that same mouth to say all sorts. But when it comes to the issues of the bedroom, I can't do this. So, I can't do this. Who taught you that? Never. No. When it comes to the bedroom, you must be open to trying new things out with your wife, with your husband. Sexual compatibility can be developed. If one person don't have it and the other person has it, or both of you are trying to find your way, all it boils down to is talking about it. That's why it's as simple as that. That's why it starts from. But that you find out is the most difficult. As Dr. Shala would say, wherever anything goes out from, it is not meant for anything to go in there. So as a Christian, is Anna says good for a Christian where your anus is meant for excretion. It's meant to get waste out. So whatever goes out, nothing must be coming in there. Do you get my? I hope I've answered that. So if you are the type that this is your sexual desire too, please, you need to communicate this to the person you're dating. You need to let them know so that they can, if they are into such things, then you can have that discussion. If they are not, so you don't feel cheated, that, this, that. And that is always, communication is always key when it comes to sexual desires, both before marriage and after marriage. You must. And after you've had this conversation and you still find out that when you get married, that you've been deceived, for example, this person has not told you that they're impotent. They've not told you that they don't have they can't have erection, and you've had all this conversation and they still didn't come out and tell you this. Then whatever decision you decide based on that will be valid. It will be valid. As a man, as a woman, if a woman has not told you this is what has happened, probably she's had a vaginal prolapse and things like that due to past sexual intercourse, sexual engagements that she's had, and you've not come out and say, I have a vaginal prolapse, this is the problem, and you find out after marriage, then you are welcome. You have the full backing of the law to take the necessary step towards that you deem fit, whatever decision you want to take. And you need to open up. You need to open up. If you're a man, you are a woman, you have erectile dysfunction, you know that you cannot get it up, you know you don't have erection, you know that your penis cannot do the needful, cannot penetrate a woman. You need to come out and say, so that you can seek help. You need to seek help. When you do not talk, when you keep your mouth quiet and you want to deceive people into marriage, that is not of God. That is not of God. Don't remember that part of the marriage vow says, if any knows of any impediment that impediment, and you know is an obviously you know erectile dysfunction is an impediment, and you fail to disclose this to the person you're marrying, you're committing a sin. And a pastor said oral sex is not biblical. Is this true? I'm always of the opinion that whatever you want to do in your bedroom is your business. If the pastor feels that he or she does not engage in oral sex or does not want oral sex, that's the pastor's, and the pastor's wife is sexually okay, and the pastor's wife is okay with that. That's between the pastor and his wife. Whatever you and your man want to do in your bedroom, it's agreement and communication between both of you. I don't believe that oral sex is a sin. I don't believe it. But if the person you're marrying, and that's why I keep saying it, sexual compatibility starts from communication. If you're marrying somebody and they're already telling you that oral sex to them is a sin and they can never see themselves doing that, and you're a person that you know that you enjoy oral sex and that's the only way you enjoy your sex, you know you have no business in a relationship with that person because they're already telling you what they will never do. Prayer will not change them.
One one man told me, one time, he said that, Pastor Jola, I enjoy oral sex in my dream. But in reality, I don't like it.
In his dream,
I said, you
give it to him
better
by his
your
dream.
dream. You better stay inside your dream and don't come out.
So he'll be enjoying the sex in his dream then.
Yeah.
he'll be enjoying
And the
he'll
wife
be
is
enjoying
crying.
it.
And the wife is
He'll
crying,
be
give it to
enjoying
me.
it in his
The
dream.
wife is saying,
He'll
give
be
it to
enjoying
me,
it
give
in
it
his
to me.
dream
He
then.
said he's giving it in the dream.
Somebody is asking, is can ED be treated? Yes, I believe some erectile dysfunction can be treated. Yes, when you know, if you know that if a man knows that he suffers from this, they need to speak they need to speak with a doctor. You need to go and see your doctor. There are sexual health clinics. They tell you what to do. Some is got to do with your diet. They put you probably on a strict diet. They give you some medication and they start you on a lot of treatments. So I know some, there are patches they give you that you put on. They tell you to wear the patches for some time. And there are a lot of medicine is advancing every day. And that's why people need to talk about these things. If you don't talk about it, you don't know who can fix it. If you do not go out there and look for information, anything that's got to do with your health, your sexual health, you need not to keep it to yourself. You need to talk to a doctor. You need to speak to somebody about it. And you tell them, this is what I am going through. And believe you me, the problem with us is we always think we are the only ones that has these issues. We think we are the only one that has these medical conditions. But you'll be surprised when you go to the doctor and they tell you a certain percentage of men suffer from erectile dysfunction at a particular time, a particular age, due to a particular or from a particular ethnic group. When they bring out the statistics for you, you'll be surprised that it's a well-documented statistics, well-known facts. And then they have medication that you can use. If you don't speak out, you don't get help. That is it. The Yorubas we say, "Ọmọ tó bá nawọ́ nìyá ẹ̀ ń gbé." If it's a child that stretches out the hand that the mother would carry, if you keep your problem to yourself, you don't seek out solution, you don't talk to professionals, you would never know what help you can get. And there's always help out there. There's no sexual disease or sexual condition that there is no answer for, that there is no medical answer for. They will direct you, they will put you through to the right people or right person to talk to.
Well, Sister Noah, I have some few questions here for you.
Okay.
These questions people have been sending questions to me since about 3 days now. Ever since I actually posted the banner on the page. Some people, they don't like to come out. They love to be at the back door. They want you to actually protect their, identity and all that. There is this particular guy who asked and said, after marriage, before marriage, I believe we are sexually compatible. But after marriage, something went wrong along the line. It's not hormone. It's not like I cheated. It's not like I'm abusive. She just disconnected from sex. What could cause that? And then if you can give us an answer to that, and please enlighten us on what do you think he could do to be able to bring his wife back.
Okay. First of all, when a woman disconnects from sex, sex for a woman or for most women, it's not a marriage is not just a what do you call it? A physical satisfaction. It goes deeper than that. And when a woman that didn't have issues with sex before, as in your sexual compatibility was on top, and then all of a sudden she switches off. Now, some of us women, when that happens, you need to, first of all, you need to have a conversation with her. You need to ask her, you need to come from a place of understanding. Do not come from a place of when you've asked her for sex and then she said no, on the day she turned you down, and that same night you want to have that conversation with her. Because as I said earlier, she tends to think, oh, you are now judging me. You now want to, you are judging me based on today's performance because I said no. I just said no. It could be anything. So you need to have the conversation where you know that she's relaxed. She's not under any pressure to perform or anything. You ask the question, darling, what's wrong with you? Sometimes some women on some kind of family planning, some because they are hormonal, some hormonal family plannings do tend to affect our drive, our sex drive, our libidos, women's sex drive. They get affected by our hormonal family planning drugs. You need to look into that. You need to set yourself that there are not or no unresolved issues. No unresolved issues that you've not, because some women, the only way, and it is wrong, it is wrong when we remove the place of communication and we think denying our men sex, denying our husband sex is a way to drive out and to point out to them that there is something wrong. If there's something wrong that's got nothing to do with your sex drive as a woman, you need to come out and communicate this to your man. You need to let him know that, oh, there's this issue that we have, there's this problem that we have that we've not resolved. I am not happy with you regarding this. We don't use sex as a crop, we don't use sex as punishment. I need to put that out there. So talk to your woman. Check, she needs to check that if she says, oh, I just don't know, I just don't feel like it, all of a sudden my drive just went to zero. So you need to check the family. If she's on family planning, what family planning is she on? If she's approaching some women, they approach menopause early. So all this, some are not even in their 50s yet, and they start having signs of menopause. They don't know this. And all this will affect a woman's sex drive. So you need to get to the bottom of it. If she tells you, oh, I don't know, I just found out that I don't have any interest in it, I'm just no longer, I just don't want it, then it's high time that she goes to see, she sees a gynecologist, she sees a GP, a doctor, that we call them GPs here, and you have a talk about, and look at it, some of the family planning tablets or whatever we take, IUDs, they have side effects. If she's on any medication apart from family planning too, does she have any medication she's on that she's taking? Some of these medications that we are on, probably for high blood pressure, probably for anxiety, for depression, some of these things, they affect a woman's sex drive. So you need to ensure that your woman is not on any of this or any other medication that they are on is not affecting their sex drive. And you need to have that conversation also if there are unresolved issues between you two. And then if you've looked into all this and there is still no answer, then you need to be speaking to a sex counselor, a sex counselor or coach, and to get to the bottom of it. Some women don't even know what the issue is. They just find out that psychologically or whatever, mentally, they are disconnecting from sex. So some of them, they need to speak to a therapist who will be able to talk to them and get to the bottom of their disconnection from sex with their husbands. So it's having the desire as a man to get to the bottom of it before you start thinking of, oh, every other thing, working through it together.
Thank you for that. And in addition to that, for men who are listening, hygiene is important. I've come to realize out of maybe like 10 African men, um, you know, that I've seen, in my office, probably like about six of them, they have that particular life. May not be able to tell you that, okay, that even get me only kissing you. I can't kiss you. And
Yeah.
the second thing is, Abia,
Shower, I do.
some of the men don't want to take a shower at night. They just want to jump in bed and just bang the hell out of their wives and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And women, they want to hold you. They want to feel comfortable with you. How will you feel if your wife is stinky, stinky? Will you be able to put your
You
mouth
need
on?
to smell nice.
Yeah,
Yes, you need to smell
be able to
nice. Use
now on
deodorant,
can you put
perfumes.
time on the woman and use your tongue on her if she's smelly? All right, think about that.
Mm.
All right, think about that stuff. So you as a man supposed to actually take care of yourself. Also, number three,
Yes.
number two that I want to talk about is good words. Don't be physical. Don't be verbally abusive. Verbal abuse will actually is a turn off for women. They
It
might not
is.
want to have sex with you again because every time they want to kiss you, they remember that nonsense you said in the afternoon. All right.
But Dr. Shola, pointing on that, so many men don't see a correlation. And I always wonder, they don't see a correlation between their behavior
Yeah.
during the day with the woman denying them sex at night
I,
or whenever they want to have it. Some men don't see the correlation. They feel that shebi yẹn ti kọjá, and you hear such things like ṣé nǹkan kékeré yẹn, that small thing,
no,
that
it's not.
small thing I said, is that what
It's
is
not.
worrying you?
And
It's
that's
not
why.
a small thing.
And that's why they say to some men, I mean, some women, they say, oh, she's always taking things to the extreme. It's not about taking it
Yes.
to the extreme. It's about how a woman feels. All right? Women, they go by what you say. If you say, you stupid, ugly woman, she might not get over
Yes.
the next 20 years. Remember?
Yes.
So good words, very important. Number three, I want to talk about is men, be romantic. Some women, they need you to win them all the time. All the time. Every time you want to come to them, you win them. Like me, I will tell my wife, I'll give you $300. She'll say, really? I'll say, yes.
You are leaking Baba Pecky Pecky spirit,
Yeah.
secrets.
Yeah, there's nothing romantic about it. Go out to a kind of a candlelit dinner, say good stuff, watch a night movie. The kind of movie that you watch at night that will actually put your wife in the mood, be the one to cook at night at that point in time, prepare the dinner. And so I saw a friend of mine, and I called him up. I said, hey, Oga, what do they do? Oh, they prepare dinner for this madam. I was like, good job. I said, something's about to go down tonight, right? He said, of course, now. I know if you do this wahala for fun now. So be romantic about it. And the last stuff I want to talk about is celebrate the woman all the time. Celebration is important. Remember her birthday. Remember the wedding anniversary. Celebrate her for no reason at all because it's a Friday night and she's the mother of your kids. Just celebrate that woman. You will find out that the sex is going to come around. She'll feel more comfortable with you. Take care of yourself. And if you find out, like Ika said, you find out that, okay, after doing all of these, you're still eating the red wall, all right, or the brick wall, sorry. The best thing for you to do is just to talk to somebody who is a professional who can be able to diagnose what is going on in the life of your wife and they can be able to help the two of you out. All right, somebody saying
Yes, sir.
something here, Inka. He said, every time I force my wife into sex, my wife naturally doesn't like sex, but every time I force her into it, probably just jumping on her and pressing her down and actually putting the stuff inside where the stuff's supposed to go. He said she will enjoy it and she'll be holding me and she'll be shouting, give me some more. He said, how do we explain that?
It's simple. She's just shy about expressing her desires. Your wife is probably shy about asking for sex. I said about most of us women, our foundation, we've been told that the man has to do the chasing, the man has to be the one to initiate sex. Some of us, that's the upbringing we have. So if your wife is like that, you need to tease her, you need to bring her out of her shell, you need to be patient with her, you need to, throughout the day, send her text messages, tell her, oh, yeah, send one back to me. I need, you need to engage her and bring her out of her shell, be patient with her and keep, as long as you keep initiating it, but at the same time, with all the things Dr. Shalali said just now, send her sex messages during the day, that sexy text, in case you don't know what a sext is. You send her, oh, if I catch you this night, I'm going to do this to you, I'm going to do that to you. And then you can ask her to during the day, what do you want me to, what do you want this night? What do you want on when we get down to it? Engage her, bring her out of her shell, be patient. And if you once you keep doing that, she will come out of it. It's a learned behavior. And to unlearn it, she needs time. Women that are like that needs time. After a while, you start seeing that she'll be the one dragging you. She'll be the one telling you, why? What's happening? Oh, your man, you come and fulfill come and fulfill your obligation, your duty. Come. I'll be the one dragging you. And you would find out in no time you've created somebody that loves sex as much as you do. So you need to be patient with her and keep telling her, throughout the day before the thing happens, just keep engaging her and be like, oh yeah, you are going to be the one to do this today. So me too, I'm going to lie here and I want you to do this. You to drag her on top of you and be like, okay, yeah, now get to it. Things like that.
Okay. Oh man. All right. Maybe your wife is. Maybe she was born in the jungle and she's used to the lion and the giraffe, lion and the monkey kind of love, whereby you would go and dodge behind the cupboard, and then when she's actually undressing, you just jump out of nowhere, just carry her like that, just put her on the bed and just be rough with her. Maybe she was born in the jungle, but you need to change that orientation around, just like Yinka just mentioned it. You want to actually make sure that you take that out of her and be able to let her understand how to engage in sex in a normal way.
Show her that you love her body.
Yeah.
Such women, get them. What you can do. What you can do. If you have a woman like that, get her naked. Let her stand in front of you naked, and start telling her telling her what the part of her body that show her how much you desire her, how much you desire. When a woman is sexually confident, she will not be shy, she will not be afraid to make the first sexual advance towards her husband. She lacks sexual confidence, and you need to build that up in her. And part of it is admiring her body. When you walk around the house, when she's in the kitchen, you touch her bum, it's look at your bum. Things like that. You say things like that. Admire, let her know that you desire her, you cherish every single part of her. When you're a woman, when you build such confidence in her, you will see her change in no time. You will.
That's the best way to do stuff. And majority of you women also, who you are not really comfortable about yourself, you're like, hey, oh yeah, pano kito dress, pano no. Me, pano on dress, let us see. We don't want to pano. You have to.
We don't want to pano. We want to do it. We want to do it with the lights on. That one you can start gradually. You get colored lights. You get some lights in the bedroom. Get your candles, and from there you gradually win out of only having sex in the night.
Man, we devise evil stuff when it's dark. All right, we can plan evil stuff when it's dark. All right, but the issue is just that be able to turn the light on and be able to look at your spouse and be able to appreciate them and then connect with them sexually. That's how you build sexual compatibility. You build it by about everything you like about their body, so that at the end of the day, they will be the one that part for you. If you like them, their waist is thin, they will make sure that they keep it thin. If you like the bum is big, they will do exercise to keep it going for you, and they make sure that it's still spilling your head. All right, so you need to talk.
Yeah, a woman. We can't overemphasize this. A woman likes to be admired. A woman likes a man to look at her and tell her, man, God really took time when he was creating you. Tell her the part of her body that scatters your brain. When you see it. When you tell her such things, you want to keep herself in shape. She wants to look her best, smell her best, be at her best with you. So building sexual compatibility and sustaining it, it's easy if you want to put the effort into it.
Yeah, that's great. Now another question is that my wife disconnected from sex, and this is not my fault. Do I have the right to have a side chick? She disconnected from sex, and it's not my fault. That means that the guy didn't cheat, the guy is not abusive, the guy is helping in the house and all kinds of stuff, probably because of hormones or because of childbearing or one thing or the other, or mental health issue. The wife is no longer connected with sex. Now, he said, do I have the right to have a side chick now?
No, you don't. When you sign the dotted line, you sign for better, for worse. Your wife is going to a worse situation at the moment. I believe it's a situation. So I don't believe. I don't personally. I do not support you having a side chick anywhere. All you need to do is, as we've said earlier, get to the bottom of what is wrong with your wife. There must be something. The marriage didn't start like that. It never started like that. As long as it didn't start like that, there must be a reason behind our withdrawal. So that we don't keep repeating what we've said before, we've listed the things that you should look into. You should go, the things you should look out for in your woman, why she would withdraw and stop having sex. There is no reason for you whatsoever, as long as you're still married to somebody, either male or female, to have any side piece. If sexually they are not, when sexually sex is not happening, for one reason or the other, you need to get to the bottom of it. And if it is you need to go as far as counseling. You need to talk to people together, bring people in and all that to help you if you can't do it by yourself. And then you need, after all that, if it doesn't work, they need to come to a tough decision to see where the marriage will be going to from there. Nothing would justify, or nothing would give you the permission to have a side piece, or whatever side you call it.
Maybe you go and start dancing Sophie somewhere.
Oh my goodness.
Sophie somewhere and don't let us see you at all. Because you're supposed to be supporting your wife, not trying to please yourself. While she was still good, she was servicing you. You guys were good and stuff. But now she's her own moment. You should pass through it with her.
A woman doesn't. I believe this personally. A woman just doesn't switch off from you. They don't. A woman doesn't. They just don't switch off like that. There's always something that is bringing about that switch off. And a woman's switch off does not happen in a day. It never happens in a day. It's just that men, some men they are not sensitive. They don't, as long as everything on the surface looks okay, they are okay with it. As long as they come back from work, they meet their food on the table, or they come back, and all that. But it's only when the woman now stops giving sex, that's when some men now start taking notice that there is something. Then they'll be like, oh, she just switched off. No. No woman switches off overnight. No. There's always a build-up to that switch off. There's something happening underground. There's something happening beneath it. And if you are man enough, you are the man, and you love that woman, and you're invested in that relationship, you would want to get to the bottom of that switch off. You will definitely want to.
Yeah, I have the last question here before we round up. It says, I want oral sex. My wife said no, that she wants normal sex. How do we balance this out? This guy, the lady wants the normal sex.
Have you asked her why she doesn't like oral sex?
Okay.
Have you asked her, has she tried it before? Or she hasn't tried it before? Or what are the reservations she has about it? Because when you know the reservations she has about it, you can be able to tackle it. If there are doctrinal reservations, then you know where to go to, you know where to tackle from. If they are just ideas that if their upbringing, it's our upbringing, it's something from our upbringing that she was told, oh, no, nothing like that, blah, blah, blah. You need to get to the bottom of it. For her to say she doesn't want it, then is it because of a bad sexual experience she's had? Or is she had it before and something happened? Or somebody uses it as a tool of molestation, or she was given oral sex without our consent. Because anytime we hear rape, sometimes we think, oh, rape is when an insertion of the penis into the vagina, that's rape. Some people, rape happens anyhow. Rape could be, there are some years ago here, where some thieves, some young men were going around some boroughs, some places in the UK, and they were holding guns to women's, when they go into homes, they were getting the women to perform oral sex on them. That's rape, that's molestation. Such women, if you marry such a woman that was something like that has happened to, and then she tells you that she doesn't like oral sex, that is stemming from an experience, a negative experience of it that she has. And every time
Sister Inga, this is where I always want us to stop and then educate people. You cannot marry a broken person and be expecting a normal behavior.
Yes.
You can't marry a
Yes.
broken person and be expect. No, and this is the problem we have. You guys don't talk. You don't enter into conversation to talk about things. All right, talk about situations, what you're being through, what you're still going through. If the guy is interested in marrying you, if the woman is interested in marrying you, they will stay with you. If they are
They
not,
will.
they will walk away. The moment you
They
hide
will.
in and then you enter into a relationship and then later they get to find this out, it's gonna result into divorce anyway. The
It
guy's
will.
I counseled a guy who is a doctor and he was looking for another doctor to get married to, but this doctor must be endowed. I said, what do you mean endowed? He said she must have a big breast, a big behind, and a flat tummy. And
Mhm.
majority of the doctors don't look like that. Because those ones they read, all of them is all effico. They must be effico. They are not even very fine. Some of them are not fine. So you want to look for the ones that are big breasted and the big behind. Those ones don't know Jackie Robinson, They got nothing in their head. They have only the breast and the back. So the guy is not interested in marrying anyone without the brain. He wants to marry someone with the brain and someone with the physique. So at the end of the day, he couldn't find, and he told me, Pastor, if I marry this doctor, I'm going to cheat. Why marry when you know you're going to cheat? Why don't you just wait
Yes.
to find a doctor who is actually double packaged, the brain
Yes.
and the body? All right. So we need to talk about this stuff. Don't let's just push it. Let's not push it under the carpet. Let's not just be carried away with beauty.
There is no two ways out of it. The
Yeah.
talking, the communication must happen. The communication must, because if this person now that is saying the wife doesn't want oral sex has had this conversation at the beginning of their relationship, that you know what, I like giving my women when I marry you, when we get married, part of the sexual act we'll be having is oral sex. Immediately you say it, then she will tell you immediately, no, 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 no. I don't like it, or I don't enjoy it, or I don't want it. So immediately you hear that, and you know it's a hard line or a red door for you. You stop it. You immediately you put a stop to the relationship right there, and then don't allow it to go further because you're definitely not sexually compatible, because
Yeah.
you're already telling her your sexual preference and sexual desire, and she's telling you no. And this is why I keep saying this. I mentioned this before we started the show, Pastor Shala, when we're talking that people in church, when we are marrying within the church, we need to have realistic expectations. All
Yes.
this holiness that we hide behind, and you know that this is what you want. Most of our men, when they want to marry, some of them they've never entered church before, but when it comes to the issue of marriage, they want a sister that does not wear wig, does not wear makeup. They'll tell you they want a sister that I want a sister that is innocent. They want an innocent sister. Then you marry the innocent sister, and sister is innocent in all its entirety. You now get into the bedroom, the sister don't know what anything is, where what does what, and you're trying to introduce something, and she's adamant and telling you no. No, 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 no. I've been taught this is a sin. You cannot get it. These are the issues that will lead to divorce. Also, when I was looking at the issues why people get the divorce rate in Nigeria, it's stated there by Google that the result is they don't have an accurate representation, because people will not give you the right reasons they are divorcing. Nobody will come out and tell you in the Nigerian environment, in Nigeria, that they're divorcing their wives because they are not sexually compatible. They won't come out. So you don't have the right, what do you call it? You don't have the right statistics to judge these things, but they are there and they are happening. And that is why we have so many anonymous. Oh, pastor, please don't put my name. Oh, this, that, help me post this, help me post that. Because these are issues that are affecting marriages. When it comes to sexual compatibility, it is very important that we are having the right conversation.
Sister Inga.
So to answer that man, you just have to. Then also one other aspect of it is she says she doesn't want oral sex from you. We've said it. Are you clean? Are you clean? Do you keep yourself together? Or probably she sees this dirty man who wants to go down on her. She's like, I can't even stand you to kiss me. You want her to go down on me. So if every other thing hygienically is in place, is okay, and you're pleasing to her and all that, then I see nothing wrong in at least trying. So all you can do is talk to her keep talking to her and ask her to let you try and see if she enjoys it or not. And if some people, they are shy, probably she's shy and she does not know if she will enjoy it. So you have to bring her to a place whereby she's so comfortable with you. I don't know how she can be uncomfortable because you're both in a marriage anyway. So we bring her to a place where she's comfortable with you, and
Yeah.
then try it out. And she needs to allow you to try. But if she says no, I think you have to respect her. You have to respect her decision, and you need to know if this is a hard line for you to toe.
The proof to that effect is cheating. When you see men cheating, majority of them are not sexually compatible with their wives.
Yes.
The problem
Yes.
now, it is side chicks outside. When you pick a side chick, I'm talking about you're picking a playground. I've said this many times. You're picking a playground. Boys will pick a playground where they are satisfied. They want to go to a place where they get satisfied. You don't just pick a kind of a place, just go. No, you don't pick a side chick just because you just want to have one. You pick a side chick who is sexually compatible with you, because while you were getting married, you didn't even know that this is the kind of wife I'm getting married to. All right? This is the kind of wife I'm getting married to, who will be telling me no oral sex, who will be telling me you can't go from behind, who will be telling me I can't do helicopter or I can't do wheelbarrow. I just want to lie down like a log of wood.
You can't do snake in the monkey shadow.
I'm going to go out to house and go and look for a playground where the girl is ready to do helicopter, where the girl is ready to spin around and even do, perform all kinds of stuff with me. And then you will find out that when you go there, you will always go back to that one that is meeting your need. Even women. I know a lot of Nigerian women, they have never done oral sex before, and then at work, they just find one black American just can say, baby, I just like you. And then the very first thing the guy did was just to go down on them, and they were like, whoa, Asaye Membi. And that was the end of it. And when they go back home, they tell their husband to go kiss transformer. I can't have sex with you. I'm tired. I can't, because the guy is not doing it for them. And majority of our Nigerian men don't want to do oral sex on their wives. They will do it. The American
They want to be takers. Dr. Shola, they love taking, but don't want to reciprocate.
That's in the house. But when they go outside, they do it. They do it outside. The black American woman will put your head there. Say, Ma Bombi, Ibiniko. And they will use her leg to clap your head to stay there. All right? Nigerian women will say, if I do that now, the man will become a bully. He will report me to our pastor. It's always pastor. Reporting to pastor will make you.
It's always pastor.
So
they are more of what their pastor will say. Yeah. As if it's written on their forehead in church when they go to church on Sunday. Yeah. I had oral sex last night.
You don't even
as if it's written on their forehead.
You don't know what pastor and his wife did at night on Saturday. Even on Sunday morning, you didn't know maybe that the pastor just finished licking the plate before coming to church. You don't even know. So that's the stuff. All right. So I believe that, okay, now to actually come back, to the point from the beginning, is it right for us to have sex before marriage? Is it the best thing? Are people listening to this instruction? We say it in church. We come to church and say the Bible says no sex before marriage, no bed was not and this. Yes, we preach
until there is 100% honesty.
Yeah, and we preach
100%.
Everybody will say, preach on, pastor, preach on. And then we get food as a pastor when we repeat this stuff and this stuff, and we believe people are listening. Sister Inga, they listen, but they don't do those things.
Of course.
They don't do
of course.
They just
of course, because
choir master just left Sister Osha. Sister Osha just left Deacon Dimeji's house. Deacon Dimeji is about to get married next week Sunday. The pastor said
next week Sunday.
Just engaged in sexual relationship before. The two of them lied to pastor. Say no, sir.
Because that's what the church wants to hear. Because they know the right answers to give. Because that's what the church. That's what the church wants, Pastor. That's what the church has encouraged. That people are not, because sex is never talked about. It's not discussed. So when it is not discussed, people want to try themselves. They want to tell you, I cannot buy a car without testing it.
But they can't talk
about.
And
you ask the questions: how many cars are you going to buy when it comes to You
Let's
found out a brother has tested so many sisters in the same
go,
church, or the choir master has tested 4, 5 sisters in the
let's go
choir alone.
of Lagos. Let's go on the street of Lagos and line all the pastors up on the street of Lagos and tell the ones that actually practice sex without sex before marriage to come on this side, and the ones that validated their wives before marriage, let them come on this side. Let us see it. We all preach it, but we don't do it. All right? Everybody wants to get the best of the best woman, right? Everybody is scared because the devil is in church. All right? The sister you're seeing that says that I'm a virgin, actually, she's going to later tell you that, oh, I told you I'm a virgin, I'm a spiritual virgin. And then you're no, yeah.
She's a spiritual virgin. Or you get, Dr. Shola, you get some too, that they are virgin only because they've not had penetrative sex. But every other kind of sex, they've had it.
They've done it.
They've had it.
The brother will say, are you a virgin? She'll say, I'm a virgin. And the brother will say, thank God I find a virgin. And on the wedding day, the guy will enter into the thing. It will be like he has fallen inside well. He will just go, bam. And then the brother will say, I've never seen this kind of virgin before. Say, I didn't tell you I'm a virgin physical. I told I'm a spiritual virgin. At the end of the day, there is all of this lying all around. And then there are so many brothers in church, they will say, spin it all around. On the wedding day, you will find out that the penis is not working. So how do we cope with this? And people tell us, use faith. There's nobody using faith anymore these days. Even pastors don't.
I think this is why I say, Pastor Shola.
Yeah.
I think any test that you can do, any test that you can medically do to ascertain, to confirm that the person you are marrying is fertile, the person you are marrying is not impotent, the person you are marrying has got the right tools and all that in place. Any test that you can do to confirm this, I support doing it.
Yeah.
Now, regarding you, whether you engage in sex before marriage or not, depends on your personal convictions. No matter what any pastor teaching, or the Bible standard cannot be erased. The Bible says no sex before marriage. Then I think the decision now lies with the couples themselves. And this is why I don't judge people. I don't judge you. We can only hold up the standard of the Bible.
Yeah.
We can only hold up the standard of the Bible. But also, we've known people that have engaged in sex before marriage and are still having problems with sex in marriage.
Of course.
So it's not like having that sex before marriage guarantees that 100% that you the marriage is okay sexually.
Yeah.
It does not.
No. So we understand that, and we believe that we need to go by the standard of the Bible. Standard of the Bible is for you to date somebody, be friend with somebody, enter into dating, launch it out, you date and all kinds of stuff. And then at the end of it, if you feel like, okay, I'm actually ready for relationship, I'm ready for marriage, go ahead into marriage and then you can start having sex. Most of the time, people with that expectation, sex, no sex before marriage, they always enjoy the first day of their sex life. They always enjoy
something to look forward to. They have a build up, and especially if they're open to each other about the expectation of the marriage bed, the expectation of the sex. They talk freely about it. It's always something to look forward to, something beautiful.
Yeah, you look forward to it. You love it. You care about it. You always remember it. You always refer to our first time, our first time, our first time. And our first time is on actually a very godly platform. And then we go. And the reason why a lot of women, they get broken or probably they feel cheated is because you have already offered the cookie before marriage. Probably the guy eventually dumped you along the line and said, I'm no longer interested. You're going to feel bad because you have given out the most precious thing in your life to that guy.
Yes.
You don't chop, it don't clean out, it's gone. And sex, if you give a guy sex, it doesn't guarantee that guy is going to marry you.
Yes, 100%. We've known of guys that will be having sex with particular women, and the woman they really want to marry, they would not even go near them. They wouldn't even know the color of their underwear until they marry them. There are so many like that. And my mom will always say, why would you buy the cow when you already have the milk for free? So
Yeah. So
Sometimes it's all you're taking a gamble. You're
yeah.
taking a gamble if you think if we have sex before marriage, that means he's going to marry me, or he has promised he's going to marry me once he has sex with me. You
Mhm.
are taking a gamble, because should he not, uh, what happens? Then the next, you wait for the next man, and the next man tells you that before you know it. That's why, as you said, we have so many damaged women in
So
around, because they've allowed themselves to be used.
yeah, people get used, they get dumped, and in conclusion, because of our time, number one is that make sure that you yourself you give your life to Jesus for real. Jokes apart, all right. Reality is good, but God is the ultimate. You have to
Yes.
follow the instructions of God. Um, be a Christian for real. Stay away from anything that is actually pre-marital sex. It's gonna ruin you.
Mhm.
It will never allow you to be able to see the red, the yellow, the green flags.
The red flags.
You need
Yes.
you need to see the red flag. You need to notice all those things, and sex will not allow you to do that.
Yeah. It makes it difficult for you to walk away when you
It's
see the red
possible,
flags.
yeah, it's possible for you to get pregnant along the line, and the guy may not marry you eventually, and then you get pregnant and you have a kid, and then you end up becoming a single mother without being married, and that's going to pain you so much. That's going to be a very big pain by the grace of God. All right. So, and then finally is that when you actually obey God, you're going to make heaven when you obey God. Some of us actually did it before we got born again, but now that we're born again, we should preach the right messages. We should say the right things. The right things are very difficult to do, but when you do them, you get blessed. When you do them, you get blessed. All right. So if you don't do them, then there will be problems. All right. How many years are you waiting? Courtship these days don't last for more than 1 year, 6 months, 1 year anymore. So if you know you're actually serious about getting married to the girl, why don't you just marry her? Marry her,
Mhm.
go and have sexual relationship. But don't get married because of sex. Get married because you love the person. Get married because you're ready to spend the rest of your life with them. And that's the reason why you should get married. Love alone cannot work marriage. Sex alone cannot work marriage. Obedience alone cannot work marriage. Agreement alone cannot work marriage. Everything's supposed to be put together. The ingredients of marriage must be complete. So you have to put all that together to be able to get to that point. I see Brother Lume say asking a question as far. I think what
Yes.
erectile dysfunction. I saw the question erectile dysfunction.
I thought I answered
How can
it.
you rectify it? How can you treat it? If you're having erectile dysfunction, what are the stuff that you could do to actually make you to start having erection again?
Oh, I answered it. There was a gentleman who asked the same question. Okay, I'll quickly go over it.
Yeah.
You need if you have erectile dysfunction, you need to speak with your doctor. They need to they refer you to a urologist. They will do so many tests, carry out why you are having it. As I said, some people, it could be underlying illnesses like that, diabetes, too much sugar, and then they look into, they carry out blood tests, they carry out neurological tests, they carry out all sorts of tests, and they're able to tell you what exactly is wrong. And I said, I've known some men to wear patches. They give them patches to put on to help with their sex, with their sex drive, and probably is it progesterone that men has that is low, that is not being, that is not it's not being developed quickly or in enough quantity in the body, in the man's system. They have all sorts of medication that they can offer. They will treat you holistically. So they will bring in they will refer you to different people to treat the matter. It could be psychological. When it's psychological, you speak to a psychologist, they talk you through what the issues could be. And as I said, they bring in a dietitian, they bring in a nutritionist, they bring it's an holistic approach that they use in resolving this issue of erectile dysfunction. But the first step will always start with talking to a professional. Approach your doctor and open up and say, this is the problem, this is the issue, the challenge I am having. I have ED, and then they would recommend for you the right medication, the right thing to do to be able to correct this.
Nice, nice. All right, Yinka Noah, thank you very much for coming on the show with us. How can we locate you? Some of our guys will want to locate you. They would like to listen to some of your teachings online. How can we locate you?
I have my page on Facebook, Olainka Noah. That's just it. My
Okay.
page on Facebook. Please go there, like and follow my page. And
Yeah.
I talk about different issues affecting us, affecting us in our daily lives, why we behave the way we behave, why we do some things, and different kind of issues on there. I thought every Saturday I'm on there at 2:30 p.m. Nigerian time, UK time, and that will be early, about 8:30 a.m. US time, depending on the part of the coast you are in. So yes, follow me on Online Kano on my page.
All right, all right. Imade marries. I want to just answer your question. Yes, you are cheap. You know, if a guy should ask you out on the first date and the second day you're already banking that person, you're a cheap girl. That's it. We don't need debate. There is no need debate. You're not even supposed to even ask this question at all. You are cheap.
If it was a long-term commitment, long-term relationship with you, why should he be asking for sex from you on the
Any
second
woman
date?
who agrees on the
Why
first
should you be giving it
date
to
is
him?
a cheap woman, okay? That's it.
Why?
Yeah, that's it. You're not
There are
supposed
some
to
stages
do
of
that
there are
anyway.
some stages in life that you get that you just do away with all these things.
Yeah, yeah,
You put your foot down. If a man is already asking you for that on the
yeah.
second date, you know this man is not ready to go the whole 9 yards with me. So
That's not the
you
question
know,
that's supposed to be asked. I get questions a lot on my page and I look at them, I just shake my head like, what? Are you supposed to ask this question in the first place? You're supposed to know the answer to this question. Yes, you are cheap. All right. So thank you very much, Yinka. Please, ladies and gentlemen, let's follow Yinka on Facebook. Let's follow her on
thank you.
Instagram. Let's follow her on YouTube. Let's go ahead and follow her on Clubhouse. When you go to Clubhouse, you can follow her also on Clubhouse. You can reach her.
Oh, thank you.
And whenever,
I'm just Olainka on Clubhouse. You see my name there.
all right, when you need to actually talk to somebody who is a female about your sexual problems or whatever, call Yinka Noah. Go to our page and call her up and talk with her.
Yes.
Discuss issues going on with your sex life with her. All
Yes.
right, and she will definitely be able to be of good help for your life. So, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming. God bless you guys. I really appreciate you guys for sticking around until this moment. I pray that the Lord God Almighty will continue to be with each and every one of you guys in Jesus' name. If you are already thinking about going into marriage and you're wondering, how can I know uh, my sexual orientation? How can I find out if I'm actually capable of actually getting a girl pregnant? I'm actually capable of actually having sexual relationship with a girl to satisfaction. You need to actually go and find a sex therapist, find a sex coach, and then talk to them. If you don't have anybody to talk to, just go ahead and look for Yinka Noah. She'll be able to give you a very right counsel as per that. And if you're a woman and you find out that you are not clean down there, and you're actually having a kind of odor coming from there, maybe whenever you put your hands there, you smell something. All right, you need to take care of your body. Hygiene is actually the key. There are a lot and lot of methods on how to do it. There was a time a woman called me. I found this so, oh my God, why would you be telling me all this stuff? All right, even though I know the answers to those stuff, but I can't feel comfortable telling another man's wife that, okay, madam, put your hands there, smell it. What does it smell like? And I don't want to do that. So if you reach out to Yinka, Yinka will be able to tell you what to do, how to do it, how to go by it. You don't have to use soap to clean down there. It's also only water. Just water. Go and see a gynecologist, let them check it for you, and then you now follow through. It's very important sometimes when a man is refusing you sex, sometimes you are not clean, sometimes you have an odor down there. If a man is refusing to actually eat your cookie, you know that this man is not eating cookie for a reason. All right. Somebody told me one time, he said, Pastor Jola, you can't smell my wife's, you know what I'm saying? I said, why? Why would you be even be telling me that in the first place? I don't want to smell it. And as I was sitting down there, I could perceive the odor. It's a mental thing. All right. So, but the issue is that women, please take care of yourself. Men, take care of yourself. Every one of us, we need a sales coach. Someone to lead us, someone to train us, someone to put us through. The first day is going to be a kind of a big challenge, but you need to actually go to a class. Let them get you ready, prepare you ready for what you need to know, how to touch it, where to touch, where to put your mouth, and how to put it in. Some people will struggle. They'll be trying to put it in. They won't find the hole. The hole is there. You don't have to worry about it. They're going to teach you how to put it there, where to find it, and all kinds of stuff. I have a strategy. I can teach you. All right, but I won't teach you for free. It's $500 to teach you the strategy that I have. Olori Lola, thank you very much for coming on my show today. You are going to be next. You're going to be next. I'm going to bring Olori Lola on the show to come and tell us jaku jaku nyama nyama sex. She's she's a crazy guy when it comes to talking about sex. I'm telling you, but I'm going to bring her one of these days by the grace of God. All right, thank you, everybody. God bless you. Listen to this music before you leave, and stay blessed and stay connected forever.
Father, I bless you. Holy Spirit, fill this atmosphere with your presence and your glory.